So, very quickly, why the human brain? What do I love about the human brain? My goodness. The human brain really is such a new frontier. We know so little about it, and the more we learn about it, the more we realise we know absolutely nothing about it. It's an amazing, amazing organ. What it can do is amazing. At birth, we're born with about 95% of our neurons already present, and yet the brain is very immature and takes another 30 years to fully develop. Over that period of time, it doesn't grow in a linear fashion, sort of largely like our bodies do. It grows and it pairs back and it grows again, and this takes over from that, comes back to this. Very, very exciting as we're starting to understand that more and more. Starting to understand how the trajectory of the brain and how different experiences at different times of that trajectory have an impact on the way the brain develops, the way the brain functions, and what the potential outcomes are, even 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years or longer down the track from that. In terms of the structure of the brain, we know a lot about the structure of the brain, but we really understand very little about what that structure means. It's very resource intensive, the brain. It uses about the same amount of electricity as a little low wattage light bulb, maybe 25 watts of electricity to operate. It takes about a fifth of the oxygen that we need to function. It uses lots and lots of glucose. In fact, the brain can produce its own insulin because it needs to synthesize that glucose. Amazingly exciting stuff. There's about 86 billion neurons in the average brain. Most of those crammed into a cortex that's only about 3 or 4 millimeters thick and in areas no bigger than your average newspaper. Within those neurons there's about 160,000 kilometers of axons. That's an amazing number. That's enough to go around the Earth at the equator 4 times. We have synaptic connections that come from those. There's about 10 trillion or more than 10 trillion synaptic connections, and that's more connections than we have cells in our entire body. Thoughts travel through those connections at around about 350 or just over 350 kilometers an hour. Average, a bit faster than your average family sedan. We have lots and lots of blood vessels that feed the brain that oxygen and that glucose and that so forth. I think somewhere in the vicinity of about 650 kilometres of blood vessels in the brain. The thing that astounds me the most about the brain, we often compare a brain to a computer, but the brain, if you put it in that parlance, the average brain has about 10 million billion calculations every second. Let me say that again. Every second, the average human brain has 10 million billion calculations. That's 10 to about the 15. Quite phenomenal what the brain does. I am so excited about what the future holds because, as I said, the more we think we know about it, the more we realise we don't know anything. So it's one of the few fields of endeavour that the more we discover, the more there is to discover. That's an exciting element, and we are really in this new frontier. We are moving forward in a very new age of neuroscience with the advancements in the technologies we've got and what that enables us to do, what that enables us to see. Quite exciting. In a lot of ways we are like the pioneers of old. We're forging into unknown territory. We know the structure of the land, but we really don't know what's in there and what it means. We don't know what that amazing structure can really do. We don't understand yet how we can work with that structure to improve the quality of our lives. We don't know how we can really work with that structure or how far we can work with that structure to heal, to improve after we've had insult, after we've had a brain injury or some kind of mental illness. We really don't know how far we can push the boundaries of these structures in order to repair that damage. That's incredibly exciting, how we can regenerate that. So I look forward to the future. the next 50 years in this field is going to be incredibly exciting.